Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. We'll focus on it. And that's using this Ringed with Nature. I'm just using the sentiment and the coordinating the dies that go with it, the tree ring dies. Let's put this card here. Let's bring in the supplies. I have a scrap of copper cardstock. You could use, let's see, you could use a scrap of Cajun Craze. It's pretty close. This is copper, just some that I had in my stash. Some gold foil, a scrap of that. You're going to need a pretty good sized scrap of white as well. I have a 3.5 by 4 3/4 inch piece of black. Out of the center of it, I have cut the second to the largest circle die. Okay. And we don't need the circle, we just need this frame. Then I have a piece of Designer Series paper, which is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And out of that, I have cut the largest of the circles. Layers. Okay, I'm blanking. Layered circles. Go ahead and take that off of there. Had it taped on so you could actually see what it was. Okay, we don't need that either. That'll be used on another card maybe. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of vellum. A 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of Sahara sand. My card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 inches, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 and folded it in half. Then I previously die cut out all the little pieces. I actually ran these are the dies from the Ringed with Nature. All these leaf ones I've ran through on white paper 5 times each. I can't remember exactly how many I used, but I know for this one here, I needed at least 5 of them. So I ran them all through 5 times each. This little one is the mushroom cap or the bottom to the acorn. I've cut that out 3 times out of that copper foil. And the top to the acorn, I've cut out 3 times with the gold foil. Okay, so we're going to bring in first this piece here and the black layer. Actually, let's do our stamping first because we need it to dry. Ink doesn't dry as fast on the vellum, so we want to make sure it dries. And this is 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to bring in this one. I'm just going to lay it on there so that I know where the center is. Or you could put it underneath it even because it's see-through, so that would probably work even better. Okay, I'm putting in my Memento Tuxedo black ink. And thinking of you stamp set, I'm going to ink that up well with the Memento ink. Make sure it's well inked. I'm going to stamp that right in the center of that circle. Okay. Set that aside to dry. You could put clear embossing powder over it if you wanted to. Okay, so we're done with the stamping. This one's really not a lot of stamping on it. I'm going to take this black layer and I'm going to glue this layer over the top with just that little bit of a border there. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the back of this. Don't want to go all the way to the edges because this is smaller. I did it that way on purpose, so if the circles weren't completely lined up, you weren't going to have a lot of overlap. I just cut them out of the center of each one, so I'm going to lay that one on top like that. Okay. I don't know what happened. My camera just kicked off, so I glued that black piece to the back of the designer series paper, and you'll see this is why it's smaller, so you could adjust it so it was centered. And now I'm just going to bring in these pieces and I'm going to lay them out along this there's 5 of each size, so just spread them out. This other big one with the branch going the other way. Okay, then we'll bring in some of these smaller ones. Lay them on top too. So let's go ahead and glue down these big ones first. And you'll see the center leaves will overhang, so just put the glue on the branch and the leaves that are going to be on the card itself. Almost forgot what I was doing there. Which leaf? Come on, glue. Okay, those are down. Oops, that one doesn't want to stay stuck. Stick into my finger instead. Okay, now let's add some of these smaller leaves. I'm just going to add them. It's probably not going to be perfect, like, you know, it's not going to be exactly the same as the other one. I'm just going to alternate between the 2 smaller leaves. Gotta keep remembering which leaves are going to be hanging on and which ones are not. One more here. Okay, so I used only 4 of those 2 smaller leaves. And then I'm going to come in and fill in with these berry ones. Anywhere where I feel it needs a little bit of something else. Like here. See where it's can see all the leaves there, all the stem ends. Put one of those there. Maybe one here. Gets right there. One more. Okay, now we're going to glue these acorns together. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here on this part. There we go. And then I'm going to put my acorn top right on there. One more. Okay, now I have a bow that I tied with that gingham ribbon. And I'm going to bring in a glue dot. I'm going to put this right at the top. I'm just going to add 2 glue dots. So you can see what I'm doing. I'll put it right up here at the top. Okay. And I'm going to bring in a glue dot on the back of these. I'm going to add one up here. And I'm going to add a couple down here. Now you could just do them like 3, but I kind of nestled them next to each other. Oops, that one's coming apart. Glue's not dry on that one. Alright. Let's try that again. Didn't pick up the glue dot. Okay, now I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Take those backs off. This is still wet. I'm going to bring in my heat tool here. And get it to dry. Doesn't absorb into this paper, so it has to dry from the top. I think what I'm going to do, because it's still not dry, on my clear emboss. Normally I would cut this out, but I don't have the right camera to do that anymore. Sprinkle this with some clear embossing powder. Just to make sure it doesn't smear. I like that. Okay. Now, oh, it's stuck to my table. It's going to be one of those days, I can tell. One of those days. Okay, now we're going to center this up on the front of this. There's going to be 1/8 of an inch border all the way around because it's a 1/4 inch larger. And we'll bring in our card base. This piece here. This will go on top of that. And again, it's a little bit of a border around the edge. Be careful with this that you're not getting the glue outside of where the stuff is on top of it, because it will show through. And this will get glued to the front of our card. Lots of layers. There you go, and there's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Have a great one. Bye.